You are listening to the So Now What podcast with Lana Manikowski, episode number 80. Here we are. We are at the start of a new quarter. If anyone understands what it's like to be in a sales job where everything is kind of based on goals and times of the year and ends of the month and ends of the quarters, we just finished a really fun time in my sales organization. I had a great quarter at work, and I feel really proud of where I am. Had my final interview for the job that I've been interviewing for. So I will keep you posted when I find out if I get the job. But either way, it felt really good to want something and really desire for movement in my life and take more of an inventory of what I've accomplished. And that's what I want to talk about today and help you get better about doing an inventory and understanding how an inventory can help you and how you want it to work in your favor. But before I do that, the tickets for the Others Day brunch are on sale. So if you have been thinking about coming to Chicago and celebrating with us, it's going to be on May 13th. It's a Saturday, the Saturday before Mother's Day. Tickets are on sale if you go to my website, lanamanikowski.com/Others Day. Or, of course, you can always DM me on Instagram, lana.manikowski, and I will help you get your tickets. But it is going to be a beautiful day for women who either don't have children, or maybe they don't have a mother figure in their life, or they're missing their own mom this year. So the Others Day brunch is going to be an opportunity for you to show up and surround yourself with women who are seeking that same connection. And it doesn't mean that you have to share your story while you're sad, while you're there. You can show up and share if you want to. If you don't want to, that is great. And just feel appreciated and loved. And I'd love for you to be there. So let me know if you have any questions about that. We also do have some ambassadors doing local events we're calling them sister cities. So if that's something that you're interested in, becoming an ambassador in your city and getting a group of women together just casually, either for coffee, maybe sit down for brunch, we would love for you to reach out and let us know if that's something that you want to create connection in your own local community and be part of our ambassador program. I'll send you the application. And yeah, so that's what's going on. But now what we're going to talk about is, as we think about the start of a new quarter, so Q2, we're 1/4 through the year. And I want us to get back on track with where we are with the word that we chose for the year. So if you haven't been listening to the podcast that long, you want to go back and listen to episode 68. It's called Choosing Your Word for the Year. And I'll talk you through the exercise of choosing a word that is representational for how you want to go forward in 2023. So I have, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see my flip chart with my word for the year, which was ownership. And if you went through and chose a word for you, now is a perfect time for you to go back and decide what are the things that you chose that you wanted to have ownership for, or you wanted to have more control in whatever your word is, more compassion, more love. There's a million and one feelings that you wanted to have. And so my word, I wanted to have a feeling of ownership. But when you choose your word and you do an inventory and say, how am I going? Am I aligning with this word? Does this word feel good to me still? Because I think it's really important to decide, do you still want to feel that way in your life and in your intentional way of being in 2023? And if you do, are you feeling as though you're bringing that into your daily life? So we did this today in my Thrive After Infertility in my Saturday cohort. We took an inventory. Where are we at as we're moving through this program? Are we in alignment with where we want to be? So same thing. Are you in alignment with the way that you want to feel this year? And if you're not, I think it's normal that you might want to judge yourself and say, oh, you haven't done enough. You haven't been open enough. You haven't focused on this enough. And that's okay. But you don't have to do it from a place of judgment. Maybe you want to do it from a place of, I'm going to focus on this a little bit more. I'm noticing that there might be some things I want to try, but I haven't tried them yet. And when you give yourself this freedom to feel like something isn't wrong with you, that you haven't done it yet, then your brain gets off this defensive way of being, of wanting to judge yourself. And you say, like for me with ownership, how have I taken ownership of my career? And I can sit and I can say, I interviewed for a job. I put my name in the hat. I made myself known and my intentions known to people in my sales organization. So for me, I feel like I'm trending on that. So maybe see some of the ways that you want to show up feeling that way in your life and just start to ask yourself, maybe list them out. Career, relationship, future, story, those are all ones of mine. But when you think about yours and you list them out, how are you trending? If you haven't even started working in the category that you have pre-identified, that's okay. Just say, is this something I want to focus on maybe this quarter? Is this something that I'm going to pay a little bit more attention to? And then decide yes or no. And if it's not right for you to do this month, maybe next month when you do a reevaluation, or when we go into Q3, we can do this. So I always find that it's important to check back in with yourself. Because when we think back to who we were in early January, when we chose this on episode 68, that was what, January 3rd. Do we want to go back and just say, hey, how am I doing? How do I feel? Am I taking the actions that are going to make me feel as though I have more of this in my life? And so this is the magical work that we do in Thrive After Infertility. And I'm so proud of the women that I've been working with in my Saturday cohort. They show up every week and they're just open and supportive and just very much like willing to have the discussions about things that for so long we might have judged ourselves for feeling and we didn't talk about them. And so showing up every week, and especially today, like being able to say, how are we doing without judgment? And are we trending in the place and towards the place that we want to be? So I offer that to you this week. Take an evaluation of your word for the year. Go back and listen to episode 68 if you haven't chosen your word for the year, and start today. Don't feel like you're going to be behind schedule. Just start today and see what you can come up with. So have a beautiful week. And I love you. And remember, it's never too late to discover your meaning. I'll talk to you next week.